Set in the 2020s, Pacific Rim sees the Earth under attack by kaiju from the ocean floor. They take their name from the Japanese tradition of monster movies. To combat them, humanity creates Jaegers, gigantic humanoid machines. Directing them all is Mexican filmmaker Guillermo del Toro.
A very warm welcome to Top Billing. It's such a pleasure to have you on the show. I've been a fan for as long as I can remember.
Thank you.
You were a huge fan of this genre in Japan, these monster movies growing up, but you were very careful not to reference any of these movies. So what we're seeing here is a completely new world. We've never seen stuff like this on the big screen before.
It is really great to do something that is steeped in a tradition, but that is new. You know, I wanted to honor the two genres that I grew up with as a kid, but present them again to a new generation in a different way. So if they see giant robots in anime, or they see a giant beast, a kaiju movie, they will see that Pacific Rim is of the same ilk, of the same family, but is a new take on that.
Initiating launch operations. Gypsy danger.
After several Jaegers are lost, Earth turns to retired pilot Raleigh Beckett for help. Having lost his brother in battle, the question is whether Raleigh, played by Charlie Hunnam, can still cut it.
Pilots, ready to connect.
Let's go fishing.
When you go about preparing for a role, is it even possible to mentally and physically prepare for a movie that is this huge?
Well, you know, I guess the short answer would be yes. I mean, I spent a great deal of time talking with Guillermo about the journey that Raleigh Beckett, the character that I play, takes through the course of this movie. And, you know, it really is the classic hero's journey. I mean, as a guy who's on top of the world, who experiences great disaster and tragedy in his life and withdraws and then gets the call back to duty and then goes on a road to redemption. So it's very, very classic storytelling, and I kind of understood the beats of that. And then the physical element of it was very, very specific. I mean, first of all, Guillermo said, I need you to show up looking like a man who's capable of saving the world, you know. And I always say, you know, Brad Pitt just ruined it for everyone, because after Fight Club, like, the expectation of what a dude is supposed to look like when he takes his shirt off
has become for us.
Yeah, he's made it impossible for us. I mean, you know, but I did, you know, work out a lot, and then there was a lot of technical stuff, like that stick fighting sequence that we do in the movie took a huge amount of time to master, because unlike fist fighting, which is all about camera angles and you never make contact, you know, it's about getting as close as possible without actually hitting each other. But with stick fighting, you actually have to make contact, and we found that unless we were really going for it 100% and really making contact, it just looked fake. So when you're fighting with weapons and, you know, going that fast and furious, there's a huge chance that someone will get hurt. So we had to be very, very specific and just rehearse it endlessly before we actually got up to full speed.
Del Toro wanted a female lead to match the men, not just a pretty face, which Rinko Kikuchi delivered in full.
What I love about your character and about you is I'm sitting here and I'm looking at you, and you're this beautiful, petite, small woman. But I'm also sitting here and I'm looking at you, and I know that if it came down to a fight, you would totally kick my butt. So there's that great dynamic that you give off as a character.
I love this character. She's brave and tough. She can face her trauma, and also she likes challenges, and so do I, you know. I love this role.
The set builders match the ambition of the effects people. Just the head of one of the Jaeger robots stands 4 stories high, set on a dynamic gimbal so the actors could feel it move exactly as if they were commanding the real thing.
Something else which must have been a huge challenge, which you did incredibly well, is to show the scale of these monsters and these robots, because these robots are 25 stories high. The humans in this movie are tiny when you see them.
Constantly in the fights, you're seeing things fly on the floor, and they are little cars. You know, we use really small details to show you just how big these guys are.
Exactly, and there's something beautiful in that these humans are so small, but it speaks to volumes of the human spirit and how big the human spirit can be.
They are, yeah.
Exactly.
And it's a very romantic movie. It's a very much an adventure movie, almost old-fashioned in the way he sees human heroism. It's not about a country or a political view. It's about humanism. It's about being brave.
At the edge of our hope, at the end of our time, We have chosen to believe in each other. Today we face the monsters that are at our door. Today we are canceling the apocalypse.
So says the Jaeger commander Stacker Pentecost, played by Idris Elba, who later this year comes to our screens as Nelson Mandela in A Long Walk to Freedom.
Every great apocalyptic movie needs a great apocalyptic speech, and you've got a fantastic one. So I was wondering, if I was ever in the unfortunate position of having to give one of these apocalyptic speeches, what tips could you give me? Could you coach me through it?
Good to look everyone in the eye, because, as soon as one person looks away and doesn't believe you, you lose your confidence.
Yeah.
And it's good to, speak louder than you need to.
Well, no pressure, but the whole of South Africa is waiting with bated breath to see your portrayal of our national hero, Mandela. I mean, that must have been such an inspiring role to play.
Yeah, an absolute, gift and an honour. A complete honour for me. I'm very excited for, especially South Africa to see what we did with the film. It's a provocative film, and, I think some people would love it and some people will hate it.
Do you think you learned a lot about the man and his legacy by playing that role?
Yeah, I learned loads and still learning more, as, even after the film.
If you want audiences to take one thing away from Pacific Rim, what would it be?
I took away a sense of, wow, I was just on a thrill ride for, a whole 2 hours. It was just like, I want people to walk away with that sense of, wow, thank you, that was worth my money.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, Del Toro doesn't make movies, he makes experiences, and we were right there in the action, and we're in that con pod, and we're really fighting those monsters.
Right. Yeah, you definitely feel, especially watching on a big screen in 3D, you actually feel amongst it. It's quite spectacular.
You can catch all the spectacle of Pacific Rim when it opens countrywide on August the 2nd.